Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/PettyRevenge. In today's episode, calling her fake quitting bluff. Fine, don't make tea, but you'll lose the game. Keep telling me to cut your tree down? Good luck cleaning it up. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. Calling her fake quitting bluff. This happened years ago, but still makes me smile. I started working in a corporate office in a secretarial position for my first job after college. There were two older ladies who were also secretaries working in the office. One of them was just fine, but I spent most of my time sitting beside and working with Agnes. Agnes was quickly approaching retirement age but wasn't going anywhere without a big push. This was in the days where we just started getting computers and she was absolutely hopeless. She'd pull stuff like, "I can't answer the phone, I'm on the computer." Multitasking was not in this woman's repertoire. She was super fussy and annoying. If I ever came back from lunch 5 minutes late, she would exclaim loudly, "OMG, there you are. I was wondering what had happened to you," making sure the whole office knew I was late. Meanwhile, she was usually late coming in the morning, and often left early for various appointments. If I made a typo in a document, she would make sure the rest of the staff knew about it, loudly. She tended to pout when things didn't go her way, and she would quit her job when someone pissed her off, and then my boss's boss would talk her into staying. I'd heard about this tactic of hers, and one day, our boss did something that annoyed her and she quit again. My boss's boss was away that day, so I had my chance. I quickly advertised and planned a big retirement party for her. It was a done deal by the end of the day. People were dropping by and congratulating her, and everyone looked forward to the party. At that point, I guess she figured it was too late to pull her usual shenanigans, and she actually retired. I told my boss to not bother replacing her because it was easy to cover the little work she actually accomplished every day. The power of office cake parties. This is amazing. You got rid of her and can't possibly look bad for it. Look bad? She ended up looking like a hero organizing her going away party, including cake. I feel bad for laughing at this. She kinda had it coming though. Maybe if she actually did her job, I would feel bad. Nah, that's deserved. If you fail both at being competent at your job and being a decent person, you get no sympathy. Check this out: you tell your boss, "Give me $5 more per hour. And I will cover all her work." Where are you going to hire someone else for $5? They may get the extra money for a time, until the company just realizes they can fire that person, consolidate the jobs, and pay the new person the same or less. Standard procedure for most places. If I ever came back from lunch 5 minutes late, she would exclaim loudly, "OMG, there you are. I was wondering what had happened to you," making sure the whole office knew I was late. I hate her and glad she is gone. I'd have pulled that shit right back at her every morning she was late. "There you are. I was wondering if you were coming in today. Did you at least get a pay raise for doing her work? Otherwise, I'd have let the company add another human to the payroll." Yup, this is the part that bothers me a bit. Why ask the boss to add more responsibilities to your role for the same pay, even if they're menial? What is with people announcing small mistakes like this to the whole office? We've got a guy who sends an email to the whole company, 15-ish people, every time someone makes a mistake. He also words it like he's innocent. Is this the way we're going to be writing these orders? I just want to make sure I'm doing my job correctly. I can change from how we've been doing things for the last 10 years. Fine, don't make tea, but you'll lose the game. Short and simple story. There's a guy who works at my place who is 50% in the office, 50% out in the factory, about the same split as myself, give or take. When we're in the office, we take turns to make everyone a coffee or tea, British, obviously, and he always goes to the kettle and makes himself a hot drink, nobody else. We get on well, but he can be a right bastard, and I started calling him out on never making tea for me, but I always make him coffee. He brushed it aside every time. 2 weeks ago, I took an A5 piece of paper and pinned it to the board behind my desk and drew 2 lines across it, 2 columns, me and Danny, fake name. Every time I make him a drink I will give myself a point, and every time he makes me one I'll give him a point. When he came into the office and saw it, he was instantly annoyed. I was 1-0 up before he even noticed I'd put it up, and he was not pleased. Since then he's constantly making me cups of tea and coffee and rubbing it in my face that he's beating me on points. I'm pretending to care about losing whilst getting an endless stream of hot drinks made for me. It's like having a secretary at work since I put this chart up. I don't think he has any idea that I'm the one winning here. He acted like a child, you treated him like a child, and he proved your point. That's a double win, GG. Yeah, but did OP have to make the rest of us lose the game too? I just broke a years-long streak of having not thought of the game. Pin a piece of paper comparing the number of times reverse psychology has worked on you vs Danny, see the cogs start turning. As WOPR said in a certain movie, the only way to win is not to play. Keep telling me to cut your tree down? Good luck cleaning it up. This happened last year. My neighbors have a fairly big tree and have branches hanging over our yard. I know I can't really say anything about it, so I annoyingly collect dead leaves and branches that often fall into my yard. So I had enough and bought a pole saw and sawed off a few until my neighbors excitingly ran up to me and said I can saw the whole tree off so it won't ever grow back. I blankly looked at him hoping he would at least offer money or something, but I basically said I'm only sawing off what's on my side of the property. He kept trying to convince me I will never have to worry about branches if I cut off his whole tree. I kept saying no. He shut up for maybe an hour and then offered me a few skewers he happened to barbecue. This was literally our first time interacting, so it was pretty insulting how much he's sucking up. I declined his food and he got a bit hissy. I saw that there was a lot more branches left for me to saw off, so I thought even more, it actually might be a great idea to saw their whole 20-foot tree. So I gladly went up to the neighbor and said, "You know what? I thought about what you said. I think it is better off I cut down the tree so I don't have to deal with it." Even while taking the skewer he offered me earlier. His smile became bright again as I walked myself around the fence and went to town. Tree timbered down, I went to the neighbor and said, "Alright, glad to help. Have to go back to my yard to clean up." He became hesitant and said, "When can you clean my yard up?" "Clean your yard? You only told me to cut down your tree. This isn't my yard. I'm not cleaning this up." He instantly gotten so red and I could tell it's taking him a long while for him to process what now he has to deal with. I took my saw back and even told him it's a rental and have to return it soon. I decided to make this post because this past year, it was left in his yard and wasn't touched. He just hired someone to simply get rid of it. Hasn't spoken to me since and had to say, his skewer tasted really good. Edit. Wow, this blew up. It's legal what I did, it's my yard and I can do whatever I want in it. I will enjoy the other trees that aren't in my property. A different branch ripped off and broke part of my fence and he didn't have to pay for any of it, so it's another good reason to cut more off. Also, this guy kept bugging me while I was trying to do yard work and it was really annoying. He pretty much said, "Hey, it's okay, you can cut the tree down." Just the audacity. My sister has a tree that goes over the property line between her and the neighbor. When she first moved in, that neighbor immediately came over not to welcome her to the neighborhood but to complain that she needed to trim that tree. She trims the tree and the neighbor complains that it left a mess in their yard. Now, every time she gets the tree trim, she lets the neighbors know and also gets the neighbor's yard cleaned up. About 2 years ago, she got tired of this tree and got it removed, roots and all. Again, she made sure that the neighbor's yard was tidy. The following year, the neighbor comes over to complain that the roots are on her side. So my sister goes and looks. Doesn't see any roots. Calls the tree removal service to come over too. They don't see any roots either. Neighbor takes my sister and the tree removal service to small claims court saying that they were being unreasonable about not removing the tree roots. It got thrown out for lack of evidence and the court ended having the neighbor pay my sister and the tree removal guy each $120 for wasted time in court and being a nuisance. I mean, it cost me $600 something for someone to cut my tree down and leave it for me to discard, so this guy still got a deal. It cost me $600. Hell, it cost me more than that, to have someone cut all the dead crap off 2 oak trees from the Snowmageddon here in Texas. Then he turns around and sues you for it and denies giving you verbal permission to cut it down. I would never ever in a million years have taken that bait. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Just for some leaves you want to cut down a whole tree. Thanks to you and your kind of people, world is turning into gray piece of trash. Fuck you and your neighbor. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.